I've only played about 10 to 15 hours of Tears of the Kingdom so far, but I could safely say that it's one of the greatest games ever made, and it will probably become my favorite game ever. Tears of the Kingdom came out yesterday, and it's all I've been doing. It's all I could think about. It's all I want to do. It's just that good. I really wanted to experience Tears of the Kingdom for myself, so that's why I haven't been streaming it or haven't made a Let's Play of all of the gameplay, because I just want to experience it for myself. That's what I did with Breath of the Wild without all the distractions of content making, and it's been going great so far. But I did want to make some type of content documenting my playthrough of Tears of the Kingdom so I could share it with you, and also so I could go back and look at it for myself. I didn't do that for Breath of the Wild, and I really wish I did, and I think that this is a good compromise. So I decided to do this series, which is not a live playthrough, it's not a live stream, so you won't see my live reactions, but it's really gonna just talk about what I have done recently in the game. So make sure you like and subscribe so you can follow along. Yesterday was the release day of Tears of the Kingdom, and it was such a huge day full of things to talk about. I had purchased the game digitally so I could play it right at midnight. Now I buy all games digitally, so it wasn't a big surprise that I was gonna buy it digitally and play at midnight, but I did play throughout the whole night. I played from midnight to about 7 a.m., and then I had to leave the house because I also wanted to pick up some of the special edition stuff. I picked up the Pro Controller and the Collector's Edition. There is an unboxing video that I posted yesterday that you can check out. I put it in the description below, but I was not planning on getting the Collector's Edition. I did have the Pro Controller pre-ordered, but I wasn't planning on getting the Collector's Edition because I already had it pre-ordered digitally, and I usually don't double dip, but Breath of the Wild is such a special game to me, and after playing Tears of the Kingdom all through the night, I knew that Tears of the Kingdom was going to be special, so I wanted to pick up the Collector's Edition that morning. Like I said, I got it digitally, so I was able to load it up right at midnight and play throughout the night. I took the day off of work, which was awesome. I felt like a kid again who had the day off for snow or something. There was no care in the world. It was amazing. Now, I'll probably talk about gameplay spoilers in this video, but I haven't played that much of the story, so I'm not going to go into story spoilers because honestly, I don't know any, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody out there as well. But if you don't want to see or hear about gameplay spoilers, maybe come back after you've played the game. I unfortunately didn't record any gameplay of the opening, but I will put B-roll up of the gameplay trailer that Nintendo put out because that was honestly what the opening was. You start off in the sky and it kind of acts like the Great Plateau did in Breath of the Wild, where you had to complete 4 shrines, get your abilities, and then you could actually go into Hyrule. I love this game from the jump. The new abilities are a blast to use. The shrines that they have to teach you on how to use your abilities are well done, and I think they're a good indication on what kind of shrines you'll experience in Hyrule. I've probably done close to 15 shrines in Tears of the Kingdom so far, and I do believe that the shrines in Tears of the Kingdom are smarter and more well developed than they were in Breath of the Wild. New abilities just open up for a ton more possibilities on how people can solve puzzles, on how complicated the puzzles can be. I was actually stuck on a puzzle for about 15-20 minutes because I could not figure out how to get a ball to the end goal because I am still trying to learn these new abilities and how they work. I will admit the controls, especially for the Ultra Hand, are a little bit wonky and hard to get used to. I still have fumble pause for everything. I don't know what jump is, don't know what sprint is, I don't know what the camera button is, so it's a little... The controls are a little wonky to get used to. I mean, if you've played Breath of the Wild recently, you'll be fine, but for somebody that hasn't played Breath of the Wild in a while, it's a little confusing to get used to, and now they add all of these new abilities with different controls that make it even more complicated, which can be frustrating at times, but honestly, it feels pretty good once you figure out a puzzle or once you build some type of contraption that will get you from point A to point B. Unfortunately, I think the opening might turn some people off because you're on the Sky Islands for quite a while before you could even go down to Hyrule. I think it took me about 3.5, maybe 4 hours to go down to Hyrule, and you can't go down to Hyrule until you complete the main quest on the Sky Island. Now, granted, I was trying to explore every part of the Sky Islands before going down to Hyrule. I was trying to get all the Korok seeds, any chests that were out in the overworld. I was just trying to do everything, so maybe that did take me a while, but from what I've been seeing on the internet, about 3 hours is the opening, and that is pretty long for like a tutorial area of a game. I think the Great Plateau was an hour, maybe. But oh my goodness, it is worth the wait. When you go down to Hyrule, it's the same Hyrule that you remember from Breath of the Wild, but it's also different. It's different, but it also feels familiar, and I think that's why it works so well. Now, I played Breath of the Wild a lot, probably close to 200 hours, so I know the Hyrule landscape, and I was a little bit worried about them not changing the overworld for Tears of the Kingdom, but let me tell you, I'm not worried anymore. One of the first towns that you go to in Breath of the Wild is Kakariko Village, so I wanted to find Kakariko Village in Tears of the Kingdom to see what changed. It's a more developed town now, it's more bustling, but what I was really interested in was, spoilers, there's a fairy fountain there in Breath of the Wild. The fairy fountain is now replaced by this new mechanic called Chasms, which is a giant hole in the ground. I'm a big From Software fan, and I played Elden Ring, loved it. That game took a lot of cues from Breath of the Wild, but they added an underground system. Now, flash forward to Tears of the Kingdom, these chasms lead to an underground system. These chasms are awesome. Now, to be fair, I don't really know what you need to do in them yet, but you go in there and it's completely dark. It's pitch black. You can't see 5 feet in front of you. So you get to use some new mechanics like throwing items and also fusing items to arrows, because you have to light up the area somehow, and there are these light bulb plants that you either throw or shoot with an arrow, and they will light up a small area so you can see where you're going. You can't just wander around in the dark in the chasms, because there's this stuff called gloom, which is essentially malice, and if you go into the gloom, you will lose your hearts. I'm not talking about how you lose hearts normally where you could recover with food. No, you lose access to these hearts permanently until you go back to the surface. Or you can light these giant light bulbs that serve as checkpoints and fast travel points. They restore access to those hearts that you lost in the gloom. Like I said, I have no idea what you're supposed to do in the chasms. There are items that you pick up and you use them to buy at certain statues, but other than that, I have no idea. So I'm just wandering around, fighting the enemies that are down there, and also lighting up areas. Eventually, something cool will happen, right? Ever since I got down to Hyrule, I really haven't progressed the main story that much. I've just been trying to find shrines to increase my health, trying to find towers to see more of the map. I've been exploring these chasms, and they also have caves. There's just so much in this game, and it's very easy to get distracted. It's awesome. The one thing that I am a little bit disappointed in, and maybe I just haven't gotten there, but I haven't really gone back up to the sky that much. Yeah, there are a couple areas where you could shoot up and then you get a chest or something, but there's no big, large area to explore in the sky, at least not that I've found yet. I found this really fun skydiving challenge to do, which was fun, but it was also frustrating because there was 2 separate time trials. The first one, really easy. I did not break a sweat on it, but the second one, you had to do it in under 20 seconds, and one time I hit 20 seconds exactly, which I'll put the B-roll up, but they didn't give it to me. It had to be under 20 seconds. That's how I hurt my thumb. Messing around with the new abilities is a blast as well. I've been playing a lot with the fuse ability. I made a couple videos of fusing random items to weapons, like a piece of meat to a stick or a mushroom to a stick, so check those out as well. I know everybody hated the weapon breaking system in Breath of the Wild, but it is back. Now, fuse is supposed to help mitigate that problem, but honestly, I think it's still the same. And you have to use the fuse ability, or you're going to be using super weak weapons. There is a story point on why the weapons are all kind of messed up, but you do need to use fuse if you want to get any powerful weapons. Ultra Hand is fun as well. You use it a lot. That's the one you need to create your own contraptions to solve puzzles and get to different places. Now, the controls are wonky, and I don't think I'll ever get used to them, so it can be frustrating when you're trying to figure something out, but it just won't work with you. Just know you're going to use Ultra Hand a lot. That's probably the one that you use the most. Korok seeds are back, and quite honestly, I enjoy finding them. There is so much to do in this game, whether it's completing shrines, searching caves, discovering the chasm, looking for towers, completing side quests, going to the sky, that finding a small little Korok seed just feels good. I do have one complaint. It's hard to find Hestu. I had to look up a guide. So right now I'm sitting with 20 plus Korok seeds that I can't do anything with because I can't give them the Hestu. I don't know why they didn't put them in the opening area, because you do find Korok seeds in the sky, or just put him where he was in Breath of the Wild so he didn't have to go searching for him. I don't want to look up a guide so I could expand my weapon cache or my shield cache. Like, I just want it. I had it in Breath of the Wild. I want it in Tears of the Kingdom. Other than that, I've been having such a blast with this game. Somehow they topped Breath of the Wild, which I already thought Breath of the Wild was a perfect game. And this one took that formula and made it so much better. That's all I really have for now. Like I said, I haven't completed much of the main story. Maybe in the next video I could talk more on that, but I've really just been exploring and getting lost in this world. I didn't even talk about the caves or the wells. There's just so much in this game that you could get lost in, and that's all I wanted. I love it so much. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to y'all next time.